Yep, here I am at White Rock Chapel. Yep, White Rock Chapel. This area right here was formed in the freedmen's community of Upper White Rock, settled by former slaves. I'm gonna read it, but I'm gonna, talk to it, add my own spin to it. Settled by former slaves from the nearby Coet, Caruth, and O'Bear plantations. That's right, Coet Road, Caruth Haven plantation. I don't know who O'Bear is, but he had a lot of slaves because he has a plantation. White Rock Chapel Methodist Church was organized after a meeting at the home of George Coet. George Coet, founding members purchased land on White Rock Creek beside a small African-American burial ground in early 1884. That's about right over there, in that area over there. Next to those big mansions over there. Yeah. But meanwhile, let's go back to where I'm at right here. A small African-American burial ground where I just left in early 1884 and constructed a log building. Yeah, about right here, to be exact. The first pastor, the Reverend Mr. Burse, served about 28 families until 1914. Now, I was over at the cemetery earlier, and they had people that was buried in that cemetery that was born in 1836. That was around about the time that the Alamo fell. We got people that are buried in that cemetery that was there when the Alamo was still being fought. The battle was still being fought. Frequent flooding was a problem for the congregation. All around here was a creek. It's a creek which runs into White Rock. But nevertheless, I digress. The congregation sometimes spent days inside the building waiting for the floodwaters to recede. A 1918 flooding drowned a family after a service, and soon after, the congregation moved to this site, which is on higher ground, because all of that you just saw down the road there, that flooded. So now, this is on higher ground. It was donated by SS Noel, where you'll find Noel Road. That's over there by Alpha Road, which is also an African-American freedman community as well. Alpha, Texas, but you now know it as the Galleria Shopping Center. The congregation was renamed Christian Chapel CME, Christian Methodist Episcopal Church, in honor of its pastor, C.C. Christian. In 1960, a church member donated more land about a mile south of where I'm at right now, but most of the original congregation decided to relocate. Because, by then, we had gotten to the point now where, we started going into the suburbs and that kind of thing. So now, from afar, the remaining members reclaimed their original name, calling themselves White Rock Chapel Independent Methodist Church. In the fall of 1969, yeah, I'm steady looking around because, all these homes around here, they got Donald Trump signs. So I'm looking because guess what? The sun's going down. So anyway, I don't want to go down when the sun go down, but I ain't scared. But anyway, in the fall of 1969, a large corporation claimed ownership of the 3 acres known as White Rock Union Graveyard, where I just left, and they wanted to go ahead and basically bulldoze it over and just reclaim the land for themselves and claim the land for themselves. But the people at the church, Mount Pisgah, and the other churches around it, they got a temporary restraining order. And White Rock Chapel trustees continued the legal battle to preserve the land of which their church first met. Like right here. Check it out. And they won the battle. But the battle now still continues. It continues because now, as you can see, black land is always being targeted by developers and corporations who want to go ahead and take over. Well, because they feel that we're not worthy. But we are worthy because it's our land. We built this and we ain't going nowhere because God has ordained it for us. Take care.